Thank you for listening to this presentation. I want to tell you my interest in moths goes back to North Dakota and Minnesota some dozen years ago when I took up mothing under the mentorship of Jerry Fauske, an NDSU entomologist. I moved to the Spokane area and late in the year of 2017 and realized that there were lots of moths out here. And I began with some rigor looking at the moth taxa in 2018. This coming year, 2022, begins my 5th year of mothing in the Spokane area. I moved to Spokane in 2017 and took up serious mothing in 2018. And the hub of my mothing is right here in my backyard, where I have gradually extended the radius of my mothing efforts to include 2 conservancies and the eastern edge of Turnbull National Wildlife Refuge. I am fortunate to live on the edge of a small rural residential area and on a wooded lot overlooking the Lake Creek drainage basin. I lure moths with ultraviolet and mercury vapor lamps, and occasionally we'll do some baiting also in the early spring and late fall. And this next year I will begin using pheromone traps on the recommendation of one of my Wisconsin mothing friends, Kyle Johnson. Beginning in March and with some rigor and running through 9 months of the year all the way through November, I run 4 to 5 lights on the north-facing side of my house, my backyard really, overlooking the wooded bluff that borders Lake Creek. My porch light setups for luring and catching moths are rather simple. I just use 4 CFL bulbs and mesh laundry hampers, and I fill the hampers with these egg trays, and I check these trays in the mornings to see if there are any moths. My sampling protocol is biased in that it favors those moths that are obviously lured to light. That said, I do get out and net moths during the day at 2 of the 3 local conservation areas when the flowers are blooming. During the months of June and July, the months of peak moth activity and diversity, I process as many as 200 or more individual moths each morning, 7 days a week. I seldom encounter more than 80 species of moths in a single morning. I photograph moths with a 16 megapixel Pentax WG3 camera and archive selected images of relevant species on Bug Guide. I've been a Bug Guide contributor for a dozen years now and have archived almost 15,000 images of arthropods, mostly insects, on that digital database. I don't expect you to read this table. The print is small and the information is, well, overwhelming. I can make PDF copies of this table available to you if you're interested. And all you need to do, of course, is email me at cdbarentine@outlook.com. I'd be happy to send you a copy. I continue to be surprised by the taxonomic diversity of moth families I found here in the Spokane area. I found and photographed 45 families of moths, which seems amazing to me. Comparatively speaking, in 7 years of mothing in the Midwest and gathering over 830 species of moths, they represented in all only 35 families. Noctuid moths are plentiful west of the Rockies, or so I've learned. Candidly, I sometimes struggle to identify some noctuid species. For example, the genus Uzoa and Abrigotis sometimes give me problems, but I've benefited greatly from the kind and patient mentorship of Lars Krabel these last 4 years. Year-to-year fluctuations in month-to-month moth diversity are minimal, as shown in this figure. Of interest to me, however, was the last year, 2021, which was an extreme drought year here in Spokane, Washington. Note the green line in this figure. After 7 years of mothing in the Midwest, I learned to always expect to find new species with each subsequent year of mothing, even at the same location. That is certainly true here in eastern Washington, too. As I mentioned earlier, June and July are peak months for moth numbers and diversity here in Spokane. There are at least 300 moth species that fly here during those 2 months, but of course I never see that many species on a single night of mothing. Noctuids and geometrids comprise 50% of the moth species that I find lured by lights here in the Spokane area. The numbers are large enough to facilitate this sort of month-by-month comparison. I'm a volunteer naturalist for the Dishman Hills Conservancy, and so my aim has been to compile a rather comprehensive inventory of the arthropods, and in particular the Lepidoptera that are found in the Dishman Hills Conservancy. And to that end, I've developed seasonal checklists to the moths of the area. And if this interests you, please contact me by email and I will get you PDF copies. This is the last slide. I'm grateful to those that have helped me learn my moths here in the state of Washington. This includes 2 pioneering moth photographers, John Davis and Dick Wilson, and I follow in their rather large footsteps here working in the Spokane area. I want to also thank my moth mentor, my noctuid moth mentor, Lars Krabel. Thank you, Lars, for helping me these last 4 years, and I look forward to your continuing support as I begin year 5. I'm ready to take some questions now, if you have any. I hope I can answer them. Thank you for watching.